All right. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar about how you can connect the digital and the physical worlds together. We'll be discussing the trends in the industry alongside UpKeep's partnership with SensorTrx to enable more robust analytics and actionable insights about your equipment's health. I'm really excited about this one. All right, my name is Ryan Chan. I'm the CEO and founder of UpKeep, and today I'm joined by Brian Sappett, who's also the CEO of SensorTrx. Before we get started, I'd like to get some housekeeping out of the way. We're recording this session, and you're going to receive a link to the recording in the next few days, so feel free to forward that recording over to those that missed today's presentation. Also, if you have any questions during today's webinar, just use the Q&A box found on the right-hand side of the screen. All right, so without further ado, I want to talk about our agenda today. So we're going to quickly talk a little bit about you and also us. We're going to talk about why data today is even more important than ever. You know, essentially like what we've solved for. And then I'm going to hand it over to Brian from the SensorTrx team to do a deep dive look into our integration together and why it matters. All right. So a little bit about you, and if you're listening to this webinar and you fall and a lot of these resonate with you, then you're probably in the right space. So industries that you're probably in: manufacturing, automotive, food and beverage, just to name a few industries of the many, many different types. My guess is that your guys' assets are large capital cost, heavy equipment that are inherently complex. And what you really care about, few things. You care about having a system of record for your asset data. You care about making data-driven decisions around your production, your maintenance, and your uptime. You care about getting all of this information in real time, and you care deeply about maintaining your uptime and reducing your downtime of your critical assets. You know, a lot of our customers, a lot of people that we talk to, current situation, you're on spreadsheets, paper and pencil, desktop systems. And if you're lucky to have both a sensor-based, condition-based monitoring solution and also a workflow, work order management solution, what we hear very often is that those two systems aren't integrated with one another. Some of your top challenges: you've got siloed information between your asset sensors and also your work management system. There's a lack of communication between production, operations, maintenance, and there's missing information across the two different systems. So if you resonate with any of these, or maybe all of these, then you came to the right webinar, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about: how to integrate your maintenance data, your workflow management data, alongside your condition-based monitoring solutions and your sensors. All right, so again, if that sounds like you came to the right place. I want to talk a little bit about us, UpKeep, and why we exist. My name, again, is Ryan. I'm the CEO and founder of UpKeep. A little bit about my background: I was a process engineer, worked in a manufacturing plant, and I was really frustrated with the existing solutions. Our plant was really lucky to have both sensors, condition-based monitoring, and also a CMMS, but those two systems didn't speak to one another. And what was happening is, critical piece of equipment would go down in the field. There'd be a ton of paper and pencil. And then we'd have two separate silos of data. We'd have, our CMMS, or asset management solution, and then we'd have sensor readings flowing into a different system in a different database. But obviously, the world has shifted quite a bit over the last couple years. We also know that industry, in some of the verticals that we talked about, these industries are quite slow to adopt new changes and adopt new technologies. What we know for a fact is that the world is going digital. There are more mobile devices than people, and that condition-based monitoring alongside the actual workflow management solutions, those are going to be critical to us making better, more informed decisions. But what's currently out there right now, super clunky. So we got to do better. That's, again, what today is all about. We started UpKeep to help solve this problem. And over the last 5 years, we've done some pretty cool things in the industry. And we've been rated the #1 system for workflow management, work order management for facilities and maintenance. But really today, what today is all about is announcing our partnership with SensorTrx to really extend our product suite. We're going outside of just work order management and really digging deep into asset condition-based monitoring solutions, using IoT and some of the greatest, latest, newest technologies. At the core of what today is all about, we're connecting the two most important things that our customers care about, you guys. We're connecting your people, your workflows, your work order management, your asset data, alongside your assets with the critical information that sensors have, being able to make real-time adjustments. That's what today is all about. That's what our partnership between UpKeep and SensorTrx is all about. So today, I'm really excited to help enable you, our customers, and people in the industry to make even more data-driven decisions through deep insight and analytics. All right, so I want to talk a little bit more about how we do it. I'm going to pass it over to Brian, who's going to explain a little bit more about SensorTrx and again, how this integration between UpKeep and SensorTrx works. Brian?
Hey, Ryan, thanks. I'm really excited to talk about this integration today. I think it's one of the most natural integrations between two softwares in the industrial environment out there. First, I want to talk a little bit about SensorTrx and the problems that it helps people solve, and then we'll talk about how we actually do this and what the integration really looks like. We founded SensorTrx to really do 4 basic things, one of them being stopping problems as they happen. So we all know there's issues going on the factory floor at any given time, and if you knew about them while they were happening, you could probably do something about it. And so we enable that by using real-time alerts, a mobile app, using visual management tools like scoreboards. So no longer do you have to wait until tomorrow to figure out you lost 5 or 6 hours worth of production today. We also help you win the day. And by win the day, I mean being able to track in real time against your schedule and have everybody have visibility into how you're doing. Am I going to be late? Am I ahead? If I'm behind, how far behind am I? And then you can actually take steps to be able to make sure that you're delivering on time to your customers. In addition to that, we provide visibility and accountability for everyone in the organization to really understand how the plant is running, their role in it, and how they can improve it. So this goes across not only just machines, but as Ryan mentioned, it talks to people as well and all the processes that happen around making your products in the manufacturing environment. And then finally, eliminate manual reporting. So I saw some of the same frustrations in manufacturing when I first started in my career that Ryan did on the maintenance side. Most companies today are collecting productivity information, such as how many parts did we make, how much downtime did we have, on pieces of paper or whiteboards, and then summarizing that information into Excel and then sending out the Excel reports. So we help eliminate a lot of that paper-based workflow on the production side of the house. So how do we do that? Well, it's relatively simple. We can start out with a solution like adding sensors to existing machines. These can be old machines that don't have any electronics in them, or they can be brand new machines and maybe you only need a couple of data points on them. They could be things like photo eyes, sensors to pick up opening and closing of relays, or condition-based condition sensors as well, such as temperature and vibration, humidity, flow rates, current draw, tank levels, all kinds of different data that you can use to understand the health of your assets and then also how they're performing. On more modern equipment that has PLCs and good sensors inside of it, we can talk directly to those PLCs and gather this information automatically, push it up to SensorTrx, and give you that real-time productivity information that you're looking for. And then finally, for areas that don't have machines, or maybe the machines, you can't put sensors on them, you can collect data manually from operators on the floor. And then we take this information and then provide really easy to understand statistics for your team to understand how you're doing. But in addition to that, we can integrate with other systems like UpKeep. And we can send things like number of cycles, number of parts produced, number of hours that a machine has run to help you move from calendar-based maintenance to condition-based maintenance. And we're going to walk through a demo here in a second on exactly how that works. I also like to show the deployment of SensorTrx on the factory floor to give you a bit of a visual about how it actually works. On the left-hand side is an example of an automotive company that has sensors in 5 or 6 different machines on a line. And then at the end of the line, they have a computer where they interact with SensorTrx, and then a scoreboard overhead so everybody can see how the plant is doing in real time, how that line is doing in real time. And then the right-hand side is an example of a tablet where you can enter downtime reasons deployed on an injection molding machine right next to the control of that injection molding machine. Okay, so let's take a look at the demo. So what we're looking at here is the operator screen in SensorTrx. So if I'm an operator or a line supervisor, this is the screen I'm going to have up all the time, and it shows me really good real-time information about how I'm doing on my line, both on the current shift and the current job or work order I'm working on. But this is really the first integration point between SensorTrx and UpKeep. One of the things that I can do here as an operator is I can request a work order from maintenance. I can put in a maintenance request directly from the screen. So I do that by hitting downtime. So let's say I'm in the middle of a changeover and I realize that I broke something, right? Maybe I'm putting a mold in an injection molding machine. Something happens with the forklift and we accidentally drop it, right? And we need maintenance help. So we can click on that and type in, I broke the tool or the mold. Breaking the mold would be bad, but I broke the mold and crashed the machine, so I can start my downtime. And what's happening here is if I log into UpKeep, I've created a work order request automatically. So here's my press or injection molding machine. I can click on that and it says, I broke the mold and I crashed the machine. I need help. So we can, approve this and turn it into a work order and use all the great functionality that exists in UpKeep to do that maintenance and help out that operator. So pretty powerful, enabling communication between, the supervisors or operators out on the floor and the maintenance team without having to make, phone calls like Ryan was talking about, or really leave SensorTrx where they live every day. And then the other thing that we can do, and this is really powerful, is we can push meter readings and sensor data directly into UpKeep. So I have a couple of examples here where on our press that we were looking at in SensorTrx, we're pushing over two sets of data. One is the number of cycles or the number of strokes this press is doing. And this data is pushed over at the end of every shift. So in this case, twice a day. And if we look at the cycles, we can look at the history over time. So we can see the last cycle meter reading is here, and it was put in 4 hours ago. We can look at the history over time, and it just keeps, it keeps increasing. And that, based on how you're setting up UpKeep, can trigger the creation of work orders and preventative maintenance and reactive maintenance activities based on the data. We're doing the same thing for hours as well. What's great about the integration, though, is that it's really flexible. So you can send over a lot of other information as well. So we talked about temperature readings, vibration, current draw, tank levels, if you need to fill coolant or lube or anything in a machine. All of that data can be pushed over, and then you can set up those rules to trigger the work orders. So really, really powerful, helping companies move from standard calendar-based maintenance and being reactive to condition-based and being a little bit more proactive. All right.
All right. Well, hey, I love that demo. I love seeing that, Brian. I'm really excited for some of our customers to start using that.
Yeah, me too. I think it's a great add to our customers as well.
All right. So it looks like we do have a few questions. We don't have too much time, so we'll try to get through as many questions as we can. It looks like the first question that we've got comes from Rob. His question is, how do I sign up for this integration, and how do I learn more about SensorTrx and UpKeep in this integration together?
Yeah, I can take that one. Thanks for the question, Rob. The integration is configured on the SensorTrx side. So you would, if you're a SensorTrx customer already, you can reach out to your account manager and they can walk you through the process. If you're not a SensorTrx customer, you can reach out to us, either at our website, sensortrx.com, or email sales@sensortrx.com, and we can get you started.
All right. And the next question looks like it's coming from Paul. He's asking, what does it cost? I can go ahead and take that one since we know. It's actually free. If you're both a SensorTrx customer and you're an UpKeep customer, it's actually free. We're doing this as a partnership between the two companies, and this is something that we're really excited to announce to all of our customers. So again, if you're already a SensorTrx customer, an UpKeep customer, reach out to the SensorTrx team. They'll get you configured on how to set up that integration together. It looks like we are up on time, so we're going to end it right here. Really thankful to everyone who's joined today's webinar. Thank you so much. And if you had any additional questions that we weren't able to get to today, what we're going to do is we're going to collate all those questions and we'll reply back to them in email over the next couple of days so that you're not left hanging. Thanks everyone so much again for joining us on today's webinar. We're really excited for you to test it out.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right.